Hello everyone and welcome to the very first video on the Everyone Watches Women's Tennis YouTube channel. My name is Matipa Ishe, but I also go by Matipa. And as some of you know, depending on where you're coming from, I already host a podcast under the same name, so Everyone Watches Women's Tennis. And on there I give like insights and analysis on the WTA tour. So I thought, why not do the same thing in video form? Even though I don't want my face out there and being on video and being on the internet scares me in this way, but I just thought it was time to be vulnerable and broaden my horizons and find another avenue to share and show my love of tennis with people. So this episode, it's not an introductory episode at all. I might do that in the future, but as of right now, I want to predict the Australian Open, which is my favorite slam, and that's because I live in Melbourne, Australia, so it's a slam that I can actually go to, and it's a slam that matches my routine and my time cycle. What am I trying to say? Anyway, I don't have to wake up in the middle of the night to watch the tennis. That's why I love the Australian Open and so many other reasons. But I just thought it'd be a fun video to make where I predict each round and each match up all the way to the final. So from the round of 128 to the final, predicting the winner of each match and then seeing what I come up with. I did do on my podcast a video where I predicted the entire year. So that's all the slams and top 10 and some other things. And I predicted a winner for the Australian Open. And that was before the draw came out. So now that the draw is out, things might change. I might end up with a different winner. So we'll see. But for now, that's what we'll be doing. So any housekeeping before we do any of that, because I tend to forget at the end, may you please go listen to my podcast and download the episodes, and then also go follow my Instagram. I have started posting more content and more reels on there. And then obviously subscribe, like, and comment on this video and just do the YouTube channel. What else? Oh, and with the draw, I'm going to link down the PDF version that is on the Australian Open website, so you can take a look at it yourself and maybe even do the same thing. But what I'm going to be using to predict, as my predictor, is Andy Roddick has a podcast. It's called Served, and he's created a website where you can pick the winner of each round, and he kind of does it for you automatically. Because usually I write everything. Usually I type all the names up on that PDF and then I copy and paste to each round. And that can drag on. It can be difficult. It's not that difficult, but this is a more seamless way to do it. So I will also link the website that I'm using right now. But do I have any other things I want to say? Any thoughts and opinions? Bear with me, guys. It's my first video and I'm scared. I'm really scared. But I'm excited as well. So yeah, let me set this up and then we can start going through everything round by round. Okay, so I've got it all set up. This is the entire draw. I've got obviously the world number 1 and number 1 seed Aryna Sabalenka at the top, and then at the bottom of the draw we've got world number 2 Iga Swiatek at the bottom. And if every seed won their match and beat the person they were meant to beat, we would obviously have world number 1 and 2 play each other. But tennis rarely works out that way. That's why it's exciting, and that's why I'm doing this. So we'll start at the top. I'm just going to go round by round. Yeah. And I will say, I'm not going to give especially the early round, I'm not going to give too much of an explanation why I pick certain people to win. But also Australian Open is a time where there's a lot of upsets because it's the start of the year. So some people aren't in the groove of things, or they had a bad preseason and they still have to play some more tennis. And this is good because I can look at the head-to-heads here, if you can see that. So I really like this. I hadn't looked at it before, so I am really, really impressed. Andy Roddick, whom is a player I like. Anyway, let me adjust. Okay. All right, so we'll start with round 1. So Aryna Sabalenka is playing Tiansoi Rakotomanga Rajanoa. I think she should win that match. Tiansoi is quite young, and I'm not sure if this is her first Australian Open, but Sorry, the thing's gonna like stop at random moments, so my face is gonna pause maybe in some unsavory ways, but I just have to keep an eye out. Okay, so yeah, Arena Sabalenka round 1, and then Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. I haven't seen her play the start of this year, and there's a chance she could lose, but she was a quarterfinalist last year, so we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Okay, Pavlyuchenkova. All right, and then we've got Susan Lemens from the Netherlands and Anastasia Potapova, who has changed her nationality to Austrian. Potapova hasn't had a great start to the year, and she didn't hit the heights that I thought she would hit last year. But I expect her to win against Susan. Expect her to win. All right, and then we've got Manan Chaya Sawankal. Mind my pronunciation. Some of these players, I'm just seeing their names for the first time. So now that I've seen their names, I'm going to go learn how to pronounce them as well as I can. And then next time you'll see me, it'll be a lot better. All right, so Emma should come through, hopefully, but it's just so much inconsistency. She was playing so well last year, so hopefully she can start off the year well. All right. Okay, we've got Victoria. I said I was going to be quick. Victoria Mboko, Emerson Jones. To be honest, Victoria's played a lot of tennis for the past 2 weeks. I hope she's not burnt out, and she'll be playing an Aussie at home. But I think Victoria should come out okay. I'll pick Katie McNally against Himeno Sakatsume. Okay, and then Paulina. Yeah, I'll pick Paulina Kudermetova to win that one. Dharma Galfi against Clara Towson. Dharma Galfi last year in some slams gave a few people some trouble, but I think Clara should come out of that one okay. Then we've got Ekaterina Alexandrova, who is very good but also inconsistent. Sometimes you never know what you're gonna get. And Zeynep Sonmez. First upset. I really love Ekat, love her, but I'm gonna pick Zeynep Sonmez to get through that one. And then another Hungarian player who gave people trouble at some of the early rounds in the slams last year is Anna Bonda. I think, and then this is Elizabeth Mandlik, like a newcomer. Okay, just pick Elizabeth. Maybe she can make a name for herself. And I think she got a wild card. Yeah, she's a wild card. Then we've got Yulia Putintseva against Beatrice Haddad-Maia. Yulia she started off the year well last year, and then it just became worse and worse as the year went. And then Beatrice also had like a mediocre year. I think she is trying to work her way back. So I picked for Beatrice to win this match. Then Elsa Jacquemot against Marta Kostyuk. Marta was just in the final of Brisbane. So hopefully that momentum keeps going. So I'll pick her to win. And then we've got Iva Jovic versus Katie Volinets. I don't want to just be basic and just pick the seeds. So I'll pick Eva. I think she is improving like each match, each year, each tournament. Then Priscilla Hon against Marina Stakusic. This one is biased. I really like Priscilla, and she's a home player, so I pick Priscilla to win. Then we've got Veronica Erjavec against Magdalena Freck. Freck has been is a relatively consistent player, so I'll pick her to win. And then we've got Belarusian Sasnovich versus Jasmine Paolini. This is actually a toss-up. I think this could be a what's the word? I think this could be oh my gosh, I can't think of the word. What's the word, guys? Anyway, it'll come to me. But I think Sasnovich will beat Jasmine Paolini. All right. And then going to the second half of the draw. So that was the first half. We've got Coco Gauff playing Kamila Rakimova, who I think changed her nationality as well. I think. To Uzbekistan. But correct me if I'm wrong. But Coco should come through that one pretty well. Coco, and then Olga Danilovic versus Venus Williams. Olga did make the fourth round last year or in 2024? Anyway, Olga has played well in Australia before, and Venus Williams, she's great, and I would really like a fairy tale, but honestly, Venus has it in her to beat Olga, but Olga shouldn't let Venus beat her, if that makes sense. As in, it's now a changing of the guard. She should win. So I'm just going to pick Olga Danilovic. And then we've got qualifier Storm Hunter playing Jessica Buzas Minero, who is one of my favorites and who I think is going to have a fantastic year. So I'm going to pick Jessica to get through. Then we've got, I don't like this matchup. I really like Hayley. Maketa, I really want her back and doing well because I just like the variety she brings to the women's game. Like, I think the women's game has so much variety. And I feel like we need people like Maketa to be at the top of their game. But she also pulled out of Adelaide. She didn't play her match against Kim Birrell, I think in the 4th round. Maybe not the 4th round. I think the round of 16. Sorry, correct me. Round of 16, she pulled out. So, I don't know. She could still show up and win, but Hayley hasn't been having a great time either. So, I'll just pick Maketa if she's fit to win that match. Then, oh my gosh, this is not as quick as I thought it was going to be. I'm very sorry, guys. Okay, then we've got Karolina Muchova against Jacqueline Christian. I think Muchova should get through that one fine. And then we've got Alicia Parks versus... that's a great match. Alicia Parks versus Alexandra Ayala. I think Alicia... Oh, nah. Alicia has more firepower, but Alex is more tenacious in her play style. She does not give up. Then we've got Anli versus Camila Osorio. I think, yeah, Camila, I really like her, but I just don't think I like everyone. Okay, almost everyone. Anli, and then Magdalena versus Emma Navarro. Again, Magda has made semi-final of Australian Open before. She's just had a lot of injuries, and Emma, for the past 6 months, it's not been great. But she should come through. She should come through the match. I like when the seeds do what they're meant to do. Then we've got Alina Svitolina against Kristina Buska. I actually think Kristina could win that match, but Alina just won in Auckland, and it's the start of the year. She's feeling fresh, so let me back her. Then we've got Francesca Jones and Linda Klimovikova, who I don't know. And Francesca I've only seen a couple of times, so I can't say too much, but I think I'll just pick Francesca. Let's just throw one out there. We'll pick Linda to get through that one. Then we've got Talia Gibson against Anna Blinkova. Anna Blinkova, that's who played that super long tiebreak with Elena Rybakina in 2024. I think I've seen Talia play. I like how she plays, but I think Anna should get through at least the first round. Then, oh my gosh, another great match. Horrible for Diana Schneider. I'm sure when she saw the draw, she was like, really? She plays Barbora Krejcikova, 2-time Grand Slam champion. I think people need to put more respect on Babs' name. More respect. So much more respect. But, okay, if anyone that knows me, like my family, I'm always talking about Diana Schneider. I wanted to do something big, so I'm gonna pick Diana. Okay, I told you this isn't serious. A lot of this is biased. Like, if I was putting on my tennis analyst brain, some of my decisions would be different, but this is for fun. Okay guys, I'm so sorry, this is not as fast as I wanted it to be, so I've picked all the other winners and I'm just gonna quickly go through them. So Yastremska against Elena Gabriela Rusa, I've got Rusa to win. Then Tomljanovic against Starodubtseva, I've got Tomljanovic to go through. Then I've got Jean to go through against Sakari. Then I've got Andreeva to go through against Vekic. Pegula should go through against Zakharova. I've got McCartney Kessler to go through against Arango. I've got Ella Seidel to go through against Oksana Selekmeteva. I've got Badosa to go through to the second round against Zarina Diaz. Then I've got Janice Chen for an upset against Fernandez. Then Sloane Stevens should beat Pliskova. Then I've got Sarah Bejlek. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. I've got Sarah to beat Ashlyn Kruger. Then I've got Madison Keys to beat Alexandra Olinkova. Then I've got Linda Noskova to go through the second round against against Daha. And then Shuai Zhang should go through the second round against Taylor Preston. Then we've got Jin Yu Wang against Helena Kalalina to go through. Then I've got Sramkova to beat Ostapenko. Then Sonia Kenin to go through against Peyton Stearns. Then Tatiana Maria to the second round. Siniakova to the second round. Amanda Anisimova to the second round. Elena Rybakina to the second round. Varvara Gaicheva to the second round. Then I've got Brenda Frevitova to the second round. I've got Teresa Valentova to the second round. Then Elise Mertens to the second round. Solana Sierra second round. And then Nikola Batunkova to the second round. Then I've got Bencic against Bolta to the second round. And then Naomi Osaka should get through to the second round. I've got Evelise to the second round as well. Then Kim Barrell against Madison Inglis. So that's an Australia derby. I think Kim will get through to the next round. Then I've got an upset alert. Laura Sigmund to beat Ludmila Samsonova. Then Anna Kalinskaya to beat Sonay Katal. Then I've got Elisabetta Cocciaretto to get through the second round. Then the last two, we've got Buskova to beat Renata Zarazua to get through to the second round. And then I've got Iga Swiatek to win against Yuan to get through to the second round. And then we do it all over again. So we got back to the top. Okay, so we've got Sabalenka against Pavlyuchenkova. I think Sabalenka should get through this match. They do have a 2-2 head-to-head, and they played last year at the Australian Open, and I think it was a more difficult match than Sabalenka and probably most of us were expecting, but I think she now is better prepared for Pavlyuchenkova, and she seems ready, fit, healthy. She's serving well, so she should get through that. Then Potapova against Raducanu. It's actually a toss-up, but I think Potapova goes through over Emma. I think Potapova goes through over Emma, and they've never played each other, so there's no head-to-head to go off. Victoria Mboko, again, every time I see Victoria Mboko, she has a new strapping on a new part of her body. But she's playing the final in Adelaide against Mira Andreeva. And like I said, she's played a lot of tennis. So I don't know if she has the willpower to go. But I really want to see her make it to play Sabalenka. So I think she'll beat Katie McNally. Then Polina Kudmetova against Towson. I think Towson should go through. Then we've got Zeynep Sonmez against Elizabeth Mantlik. I think Zeynep would go through. Again, they've never played each other. Then we've got Haddad Maya against Kostyuk. The way Kostyuk's playing right now, from what I saw in Brisbane, it'll take a lot for someone to beat her. And if that's the form she's bringing to the Australian Open, I think Kostyuk beats Haddad Maya, even though the last time they played, Haddad Maya won. Then Iva Jovic against Priscilla Hon. Again, there's no head-to-head. I think Iva Jovic will get through that one. Then we've got Frek against Sasnovich. I think Magdalena Frech will win that match. Again, they've never played. So many first-time matches. And then Coco against Danilovic. I think Olga is very good. And if she can remain consistent throughout a whole match, she'll trouble Coco. But I think Coco is the world number 3 for a reason. And even if she gets very down, I think she'll be able to pull herself out. And she's playing really well. So Coco. Then we've got Jessica Buzas Mainero against Vondrousova. I think because I'm looking at Vondrousova as being a fit Vondrousova, but I think on hard court, let me give it to Jessica. Then we've got Karolina Mukova against Alexandra Ayala. I think that's a step too far for Ayala to win against Mukova. And I think Mukova has a layered game and can bring out so much more even if she's behind. Anli against Emma Navarro. I actually think Anne would win this match because I'm not confident in Emma's form in tennis right now. Then Svitolina against Klimovikova. Svitolina should win that match. Then Blinkova against Diana Schneider. You know what? I kind of want to change and Barbora to go through against Diana Schneider. Yeah, I'm going to change it. And then I'll pick Barbora. So I changed Barbora against Diana Schneider. And then it'll be Barbora against Krejcikova. And I pick Krejcikova to go through. Then Tomjanovic against Elena Gabriela Rusa. I think Rusa goes through. Then Andreeva against Leola Jean-Jean. I think Mira should go through. They've never played. McCartney Kessler against Jessica Pegula. I think Jessica is a stronger, more consistent version of McCartney Kessler. I think she goes through Jess. Then Paula Badosa against Ella Seidel. You never know what you're going to get with Paula because she gets injured. But I think I'll pick her to go through. Then I've got Janice Chen against Sloane Stephens. I think Janice will get through that match. Sloane Stephens hasn't won back-to-back matches in a very long time. I think it was like Madrid last year. I'm not counting qualifiers. So I don't know if she'll be able to win the first round and the second round. Then Madison Keys should go through to the third round. Then I've got Linda Noskova through to the third round as well. Then I think Stramkova will win against Xin Yu. Then I've got Tatiana Maria is a very frustrating player, and I think should be able to frustrate someone like Sophia Kenin, but on maybe grass and clay. I think on hard court, Sophia should be able to hit her way out of it. Even though their head-to-head does show that Tatiana has beaten Sophia before. Going Kosinakova, Anisimova. I think Anisimova should get through that one easily. Elena Rybakina looks to be in good form for the most part, so I think she should get through that match. And then these two young people, I think Brenda has more experience, but I think Valentova will get through this one. Sorry, my face is gone. I'm back. And then we've got Elise Mertens against Solana Sierra. I think Elise Mertens should get through that match. Then Bencic. Bro, the Bencic that I saw at the United Cup, I'm like scared of her. So I don't want to say she's going to lose. And then Naomi Osaka versus Eva Lise. I think Naomi should get through that match. But I don't know. They've never played as well. Then Kim Burrell against Laura Sigemund. I think Kim could actually get through that match if she plays Laura Sigemund, because she's willing to run those balls down and those like drop shots that Laura likes to play. And Laura's not as, or Laura, she's not as effective on hard court. So I pick Kim to get through that match. Then Kalinskaya versus Kochareto. I think Kalinskaya should get through that one. Then Iga Swiatek versus Buskova. I think Iga should get through that one. Hey, back to the top now, round of 32. See, fast, because there's less matches. Like, I like how by like a round of 32, the seeds should be playing each other, which rarely happens though. And also how quickly this pausing, I'm gonna get this sorted out, but mind you, it's my first video, not me making excuses. Anyway, let me focus back on the tennis. So round of 32, Potapova, Sabalenka. I think Sabalenka comes out of that one. I would be surprised if she didn't, and she leads their head-to-head 2-0. And then Victoria Mboko against Towson. They've never played. They play in a similar way. It's just Victoria is a better defender and more agile, but Clara has more experience. I really want Victoria to do well, but it might be a lot for her. But maybe she's maybe like she's just got a rhythm at the moment. So I'll pick Victoria to win that match. Then Sonmes versus Kostyuk. I think Kostyuk will take that one out. And then Eva Jovic against Magdalena Frech. I think Eva will win that match. Oh my gosh, I've got her getting to the round of 16. So young. Then Coco Gauff against Jessica Buzas Minero. They did play United Cup just like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. And Jessica did beat Coco in 3 sets. I don't think Coco would let that happen again. So we'll pick Coco to win that match. Then Mukova against An Lee. I think Mukova should come through that one. Then Svitolina against Barbora Krejcikova. I was about to pick Svitolina to win that match without even looking at the head-to-head, but Krejcikova has a 3-0 or 3-0 head-to-head. And sometimes head-to-heads, they're hard to turn around, and some people just have other people's number. Like their play styles just clash, and maybe this is an example of that. So I'm just gonna look at the head-to-head and pick Barbora to go through. Then Andreeva against Rusa. I think Mira gets through that one. Sorry, my nose is a bit itchy. Then Jessica Pegula against Badosa. On paper and like a fit Badosa, I think Badosa wins that match. But but Jess is just uber consistent. It's really hard to cut Jess is just super consistent, so it's hard to counter out. And then Madison Keys, I think Madison Keys makes it to the round of 16. Then we've got Linda Noskova against Rebecca Sramkova. I think Linda wins that match, although Rebecca, the one time they've played, she leads that head-to-head. Then I have got Sofia Kenin against Anisimova. I think Anisimova gets through that match if she's fighting fit. They've never played. That surprises me, considering like Sofia Kenin is a bit older than Anisimova, but I feel like they've been on the circuit the same time. So that's surprising. And then I've got Lena Bajkna against Teresa Valentova. I think Elena should come out of that one. They've already played before and Elena did win. Then Bencic against Mertens. I think this Bencic wins. And they played in the United Cup and Bencic won that match, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes. Then Naomi Osaka against Kim Burrell. I think Naomi Osaka comes through that match. And then this matchup, Kalinskaya against Iga. The last time I saw them play, Kalinskaya should have won that match. But Iga's experience and just being less passive made her win that match. But I think if Kalinskaya is focused in playing her game, I think she beats Iga. And I haven't had a lot of upsets, so I'm just going to pick Iga to lose in the 3rd round, which I'm not confident in, but it's my pick. All right, round of 16. This is when it's getting to the wire. Okay, now round of 16. A matchup I wanted to see. Honestly, Victoria Mboko can beat anyone. She is such a well-rounded player. She's just young, and I think sometimes when you're young, people underestimate you. But she's playing someone who's been in the final for the past 3 years and has won the title twice. And Sabalenka has refined her game to a point where when she's like in a bad spot, she has many ways of playing that she can get herself out of it. And I always say, for like the big hitters, Sabalenka is like a refined version of a lot of them. Obviously, they're all different players and have different strengths and weaknesses. But it's hard to look past the world number one. So I will just pick her to win against Victoria Mboko. And then Kostyuk against Eva Jovic. Again, if Kostyuk is playing the way she was playing at Brisbane International, I think she wins that match, which would set up another match against Sabalenka. And I'll be honest, I don't, it's too much drama. That matchup is too intense, but we'll get into that. Then Mukova against Coco. No, Coco against Mukova. Coco has Mukova's number, and I think it would remain that way. So Coco to win against Mukova. Then I've got Krejcikova against Andreeva. I think Mira wins that match. I think, yeah, not too much to say. They have a head-to-head of 1-1 apiece. But I think Mira will start off the year right. So, or I want her to start off the year right. She's playing Adelaide right now, so she'll have some sort of rhythm. Sorry for that little interruption. I just got a call from my sister. Anyway, let's proceed. I'm looking at this draw, and my picks are so basic. They're so basic because I've just got seeds left. But whatever. Anyway, so Jessica Pegula against Madison Keys. I've never seen them play. I've never watched them play, the besties. I'll be honest, Madison Keys hasn't been looking too great. Like, I'm surprised I have her making it to the quarters, but I think because it's a title defense, either the person, if they're not playing well, works really, really hard to at least make it to like the quarterfinals, or they'll get out in like the second round. And I hope that doesn't happen for Madison Keys. Okay, I think Madison Keys makes the quarterfinals at least. Then Noskova against Anisimova, which is a rematch of that epic quarterfinal at Wimbledon. And it was 3 sets. They play very similar. Linda has more variety, but I think Amanda plays closer to the edge, and she's a little bit stronger. And I wasn't impressed with what I saw at the Brisbane International from Anisimova, but I was impressed by Linda. But Linda also looks like she's carrying an injury. So, again, still with the basic picks, I think Anisimova gets through that match. All right, and then we got Elena Rybakina against Bencic. Again, if it's a Bencic that was at the United Cup, and if it's the Elena Rybakina that we've seen the past like 6 slams, I think Bencic wins that match. And Bencic also does lead their head-to-head. And I think Bencic is the type of player that would frustrate Elena because she's great at defending and she doesn't give up. She'll chase every single ball. So if Elena's playing Bencic, she has to play a bit closer to the margins, which can then lead to unforced errors. So I pick Bencic to win that match. And then Naomi Osaka against Kalinskaya. I think that's their head-to-head. Oh, they've never played before. Interesting. I think Naomi Osaka can get through that one because although Anna Kalinskaya has made the quarterfinals of the Australian Open before, she can be not consistent for like a whole tournament, for like a whole 2 weeks. So I think Naomi Osaka does have that experience to get through that match. Then quarterfinals, we have got a match again. Rematch, Sabalenka versus Kostyuk. Like the 10th, like this is the most tense matchup in WTA at the moment. It's hard not to pick Sabalenka again because of the history, but also the head-to-head is 5-0. So there's something that she has over Kostyuk in her game. And we even saw it at Brisbane International. Kostyuk was playing great, but Sabalenka still found a way to bulldoze through her. But this also might be like Marta's best chance to get something over on Sabalenka, considering this is her best tournament. But I think I'll pick Sabalenka to make it to the semis. Gauff Andreeva. Coco has something over Mira. So she leads the head-to-head 4-0. And I think it'll stay that way for a while. Maybe in like a year's time, Mira will be able to beat Coco. But to be honest, that's what we said about Mira against Sabalenka at Indian Wells. And we were all very surprised when she took out the title and beat her in 3 sets. So this could be the time for her to do it, but I don't think so. And then we've got Madison Keys against Anisimova. I think Anisimova makes it through that match. I think Anisimova is playing better tennis than Madison Keys at the moment and just looks more consistent. And mind you, she did make back-to-back slam finals last year with Wimbledon and the US Open. And I think she's coming for her Grand Slam this year. I think that's all she wants. So I don't think she would let it go easily. And then Bencic, Naomi Osaka. Bencic leads that head-to-head 4-1, which I don't know why that doesn't surprise me. And I do think she'll beat Naomi Osaka in the quarters as well. And then the semis. So the semis, I've got world number 1, 3, and 4. The only one missing is world number 2, Iga. I'm very sorry. I don't think Iga likes Melbourne or doesn't like the Australian Open. But that's probably how people spoke about her during Wimbledon. Then she went and won it. So we could all just be wrong. I could be completely wrong. I think Sabalenka and Coco are like one of the hardest matchups to guess who wins. It's so 50-50 all the time. Like, what's their current head-to-head? Yeah, current head-to-head is 6-6. So it just depends. Like, Coco's beaten Sabalenka in 2 slam finals. Sabalenka has beaten Coco in the semifinals of the Australian Open when she won it in 2024. And I think she just plays better here. And I think she'll want to beat Coco because she recently beat Coco at the WTA finals. But I think she wants to beat Coco in a slam, in a big match. So I think that revenge factor does help. But they're so 50-50. Like, I'm just going to pick Sabalenka because she was my overall person to win the entire thing. So I'm just picking her based on that. Not that much tennis, if I'm being for real. And then Bencic against Anisimova. I'm scared of Bencic this year. I've said in my podcast and to many of friends, I have never seen her play this well. Ever since she came back from maternity leave, she's played some of the best tennis ever that I've seen her play personally. And I think that will be enough to take her to the final against Anisimova. And not much else to say because just her form, the United Cup. But sometimes what happens with the Australian Open is someone has incredible form, like during the pre-tournament, so Adelaide, United Cup, Brisbane International, and then they go into the Australian Open and completely tank. But I don't see that with Bencic. And I think she's just playing with like no pressure at all. Like, no one expects anything from her anymore in a way. She's not like the touted next Martina Hingis or whatever anymore. So I think she'll be able to make it to the final. And then in the final, for the 4th time in a row, I've got Aryna Sabalenka against Belinda Bencic. And I think for this, I pick... Look, the Brisbane curse, it plays on my mind. Okay? And I know these athletes are superstitious. But I think it's time someone finally overcame it. And that's Sabalenka. But what's their head-to-head? Let me not just say things. Their head-to-head is 2-1. So it's not like it's overwhelmingly in favor of Sabalenka. But I don't think she'll want to lose two Australian Open finals in a row. And it'll be Belinda Bencic's first Grand Slam final. So sometimes nerves can play a big part. So there's my winner. That's my predicted champion. There it is. Basic, I know, but it's reality. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching this video. I hope you had fun just listening to me ramble on about tennis. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be filming more videos. Just not sure what type, but this is very just relaxed environment, just doing whatever we want. But thank you for your support. Again, subscribe, like, share, whatever. And I will see you next time.